Dana Barrett asked Dr. Venkman, why do you like being a Ghostbuster? He replied, same reason I asked you out, 'cause busting makes me feel good.
Ugh, that's tasteless.
No, ma'am, that's tasteless.
Movie review, bitches!
And we're back
In baby's arms.
I don't even know if
Back
that's
in
baby's arms. That's all I know. Is there any other words to the song? I think that's it.
Woo!
Taste, I'm telling you, I want to know what love is at the end of the movie. Ah, fuck it. Taste is adjacent movie review of trains, planes, automobiles. Thanksgiving's on the way. I have a fucking piece of toilet paper in my asshole because when I cough, shit is coming out of me. I'm Jay Chowder. We got Bode.
You don't know who you're messing with.
Whoa.
Slopdog.
Hello.
This is I gotta say I didn't watch this until not too long ago. And a boss who would like say, because I was like, there's really no Thanksgiving movies. He's like, what about Planes, Trains, Automobiles? I was like, oh, is it? And I go, I just remember, I know the movie, but
I always remembered it as it being Christmas, and maybe that's because in Home Alone,
Yeah.
John Candy is one of the polka players that's
Yeah,
bringing
polka.
what's his face's mom, Macaulay Culkin's mom, back. So
Mhm.
like and it's like almost the exact same house.
Yeah.
Yes, I said that too. Yes, when we watched it, I was like, it's like that. It's like the
Is
same
this the whole-
house.
Is he a rich bitch too? They I like the uncut Home Alone where they all fucking run a train on his mom. You want to see your son, don't you? They fucking just make her blow some fucking shit and woo and fucking play with her nipples and stuff like it's like a saxophone. Anyway, God bless America. And what you do for your kids, folks. And anywho, yeah. So it's I don't know. I'm on the one. So Thanksgiving is a good movie. So I finally watched it like some years back.
Did you just say
I was like,
Thanksgiving is a good movie?
no, this movie for
Thanksgiving's a
Thanksgiving
good movie.
is pretty good. That is the Thanksgiving movie by Eli Roth is a good movie. But anyway, so this movie is they kind of redid it. If you ever seen Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis, it's kind of a remake. I don't know if they mean it to be, but it's kind of a remake of this movie. So basically, like, it's got Steve Martin, John Candy, old school, fucking fantastic comedy. If you grew up 80s, early 90s, you know who these guys are, and your dick's hard. And so basically, like, Steve Martin's an ad exec. He wants to go see his family on fucking Thanksgiving. He has to be out of town because he's a rich bitch. He's doing this advertisement. And then he's just trying to get to the airport and get home in time to see his family. And needless to say, it doesn't happen. Like, see, he hits so many fucking walls, dilemmas, missing stuff. He's taking a plane. He's taking a train. He's taking some automobiles. Booyah. And I want to kill myself. And
Did anybody else? Did you guys notice Kevin Bacon in the beginning though?
Yes.
I was like, first thing in that meeting where that guy is taking forever to look at stuff. Did you guys watch the end credits? That guy after the credits is still looking at the stuff, trying to decide he's going to Thanksgiving dinner next to him. And then he's still looking at stuff. I was like, oh, I love the end credits thing here, which back in the day, they really didn't do a lot of end credits. But anyway, so
I guess they
Ferris
say
Bueller's
Kevin.
dad
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's
is in
dad's
the
in it.
meeting with him.
What I was going to say was Kevin Bacon was in it because he had such a great experience on the last John Hughes film he was in. She's having a baby. That he asked John Hughes to be in his next film, and even if it was a small little part. So
See,
they kind of threw him at the beginning.
Yeah, because like I was like, okay, so I thought this movie was a completely different movie. Whatever. I've actually never watched this movie until I watched it now. And like how they show Kevin Bacon really quick, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's gonna play in later on. Like maybe he's just like he's waiting for a cab too. He looks like he's kind of like a snobby rich guy looking for what I mean. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's gonna play in later on. Never again do you see Kevin Bacon. I'm like, What?
Right. I thought it was a good. It's like in the meeting you got the guy who played Ferris Bueller's dad, and then on the street you see a cameo by Kevin Bacon, and I'm like, he should have just took on that big dick and tripped him with his dick, and then took the cab that way. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes. And then
and you notice one of the kids was Joey Lawrence, right?
yes, like the Lord's one,
Oh
like he was
shit!
there.
It was Joey Lawrence. Remember when Mom used to get all horny for Joey Lawrence?
Oh my God, nothing my love can't fix for you. Oh my God. I remember I bought her. I think I bought her that cassette once for Christmas. I helped her figure her own pussy. That was my plans. But by buying her the cassette.
Oh no!
I bought her the cassette. I didn't touch anything. so there's a cameo by him and I can't speak. So there's the thing with that.
I think you just disconnected your brain.
I can't think. I got fucking cough drops in me. It's medicine, and I'm all hopped up on Sudafed, and I'm not in a good way either. And
but
don't do Sudafed, folks. And
and the lady from Ferris Bueller's in that too. The redhead that plays the secretary in Ferris Bueller. She's also the lady that works at the car place there. But the way he talks to her, and then she's like, and then like. But then the way he talks to the guy where he wants a car and the guy just punches him, that one, I don't know what.
Yes.
And then he falls on the street or whatever. But did you think it was bizarre, even for the 80s, for him to you need to help him up, and he grabs his balls to help him up? I'm like, what? I wasn't that somebody grab somebody's balls.
He's fucking him. He's like, and I've never heard Steve Martin swear ever in my life. And then he says fuck 145 times in that one scene. Yeah. I remember when I first watched the movie, I must have replayed that scene like 4 or 5 times just to hear Steve Martin swear like that. I was like, oh my God. Like I've never I want a fucking car, I want a fucking
But the way Steve Martin, like usually I like Steve Martin, but the way Steve Martin talks to that guy before he punched him, I would have punched him in the face too. He was being like a total asshole. I'm like, you deserve to get punched in the face.
And
picked up by your balls, but
how satisfying was it when she was just like, "Oh, you threw it out, you're fucked." Like, he deserved that. I know he's been through some shit and he's frustrated, but it's not that woman's fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
He is just in this movie. He's just an asshole. Like, I just don't. I don't like that he's such an uppity piece of shit.
Yes, and I also don't like. So this is the other thing too, is I don't like John Candy a lot in this movie either. Like, because I get that, like, okay, like his wife has passed away, he's by himself, you know what I mean? But like, he kind of plays like just a pain in the ass as well. Like, there's no way you wouldn't know that you were being that much of an asshole. Do you know what I mean? Even
Absolutely.
You were married at one point. Like, so why are you leaving your fucking underwear like in the bathroom and all your like every towel like
that fucking bathroom? I would have lost my fucking mind.
Exactly.
Holy shit. Over the top.
Who does that? Who spills beer all over the bed too? Like what? Or even like does the thing to make it like vibrate? What were you doing? Like.
But how did Steve Martin get into the shower without noticing the bathroom look like that? It's not like John Candy was in there while he was in the shower doing that.
Maybe he was. Maybe they cut that part out.
It was hidden scene. And that's another thing. So we got him. So Steve Martin's stuck up ass trying to get home, and then here's a kind of a bumbling idiot, John Candy, also trying to make his way to the same place, and he keeps fucking not meaning to, but just because he's a bumbling idiot, keeps fucking over Steve Martin's plan. Like the trunk that Steve Martin trips over and ran in New York is the trunk that John Candy carries around with him. And the fucking John Candy takes his taxi. He says he didn't know, but he didn't know and then he goes, I guess it was seizing it. So I guess he's just oblivious. So he just keeps not meaning to, but fucking Candy over the whole movie. And then he's like, fucking Steve Martin over. And then he's like, well, I'll rent the car. We'll go and stuff. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you got a tight ass guy and a very just kind of oblivious guy, and then they keep fucking one fucks the other one over, not meaning to, and just like at the same time, it just makes the movie hilarious. You're just like, oh my God.
But I I disagree with half of that. So I do think Steve Martin is like an arrogant asshole. He looks at himself as rich and above people. But I don't think John Candy is oblivious. John Candy is a grifter manipulator. He gets free. I guarantee he does this all the time. He gets free rooms. He attaches himself onto somebody. Yes, he's looking for affection as a friend. He's looking for a connection for somebody. But Steve Martin is not the first person he's done this to. And he purposely aggravates them until they blow up. And then, just like in the hotel room where he pushed Steve Martin till like Steve Martin was just like, fuck this, I'd rather sleep outside. And then he was like, oh, what do you hit your kid if he spills his milk? And Steve Martin just went off on him. Yes, Steve Martin at that point went too far because he was so angry. And what he said was way too hurtful and way too personal for somebody you just met. But at the same time, Del is just like, oh, well, my wife likes me and I'm a good... And then he turns around, goes back in the bed, and he kind of looks over his shoulder. He knows he's manipulating him. He purposely pushes him to the point where he gets so angry, and then he guilts him for being angry. Yeah. And then gets more free stuff out of him. And I think that's how Del gets by. I think he's a fucking grifter.
Yeah, because he can't really... Who the hell actually sells shower hook rings? Like, nobody does that. That's not a thing. That wasn't even a thing in the 80s.
How is he selling in the movie?
You went to Abe's and you bought them.
Earrings? Are you an idiot? Who's buying those rings? I don't know how that happened. And and then at the end of the movie, he's like, he has a heart, and he's just like, yeah, come stay with me for a while, come fuck my wife. I don't understand what he's saying to him at the end of the movie.
And what's happening at the end there? He's like,
he acts like he hasn't seen this in 100 million days. It's like, don't you go on business trips all the time? And then you act like you went to war. Like, I know you went through some shit, but you just acted like you've been away for 3 years or something. And
it was over the top. Yeah.
Over the top. It was such a John Hughes ending, though. You know what I mean? It's that love, that romance.
Everybody's
she's just
happy.
She's upstairs. She's breathless that her husband's home. And the whole, hello, Mr. Griffith. And she's like, hello, Mrs. Page. And then they hug. And then he puts his hat over his penis. And I think he's got a heart on John Candy while he's watching him hug.
That's what I'm saying. Honestly, fuck my wife. I feel bad your wife's dead. Like, when he figures out his wife's dead and he goes back to get him, I was so expecting for him to be like, oh, yeah, that's what I keep in this big case. My dead wife. Been dead for 88 years. That's why I lug this fucking thing around.
Mummified body.
He's like, here she is. I want to know what love is.
Also, Steve Martin said fuck 18 times in that scene.
Wow, that's a lot of...
That's a lot of fucks.
I didn't know. I just knew it was so many fucks from Martin. I was like, he fucking fucks so many times. And man, there's a train coming through. And
so I got to tell you, the only I didn't love this movie, but the funniest part I think of the whole movie that I actually laughed at was the part where they're driving the wrong way on the highway.
Yes.
And they go in between the two tractor trailer trucks, and they each turn into like a skeleton for a minute. That was fucking hilarious. I laughed really hard at that part. I was not expecting it. It just totally threw me off, and I laughed really hard. Like, that was like the one part of the movie I really enjoyed because it made me laugh really hard.
They also do that when he gets electrocuted in Home Alone 1 or 2, right? Turns into
that's skeleton.
It's John Hughes classic, and and they bend he bends the steering wheel. Their nails are in the dashboard, he has to take them out. And then I like they're mocking the people who are like, "You're gonna kill somebody." Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, keep drinking, whatever, buddy. You're on the wrong road, you cunt."
You're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, whatever, buddy.
I love the part where the hotel owner's son comes to pick them up, and he's like, "Oh
yeah," and he keeps he keeps making that noise, and then he's trying to have his wife take the trunk, and they're like, "No, that's okay."
I know she's skinny, and I know she's short and skinny, but she's tough. Her first baby came out sideways. She didn't scream or nothing.
They're like,
My God, it made me feel horrible. It's probably so much blood.
Oh my God.
Oh, that hurts my feet. And but yeah, there was the guy who drives there was random, well, to me, cameos when they go to that weird hotel. The cab driver in the town of Wichita or whatever was the old guy from Friends who died upstairs. And then
Mr. Heckles? Was it Mr. Heckles?
Mr. Heckles. He
Yes.
was young Mr. Heckles.
Okay, see, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I thought he looked familiar, but I couldn't place him. So that makes sense.
No, he was young Mr. Heckles. And what made me laugh is because Friends is known. Well, I don't know if they're known, but they always had a good Thanksgiving episode. I thought they had a lot of people focus on the other holidays, but there was always a good Thanksgiving episode.
Yes.
What was so recently Slopdog reminded me, she's like, and Bone's like, I'm gonna cut out for this. This is fucking bad talk. And but I remember when Ross and Rachel kissed for the first time, Slopdog and I ran to the phone to call each other. I think I might have been busy at first because we were too busy to call each other because I'm a fucking bag. And Slopdog's he should have been calling me. And I'm like, we're excited. Ross and Rachel finally kissed. And then we call each other. Finally, we get through. Like, can you believe it? They're kissing. You know what I mean? And Bone's off beat. And but anyway, so what was the episode? What was your favorite episode of Thanksgiving with Slopdog?
The one with Brad Pitt in it. The Thanksgiving with Brad Pitt. Yeah. I love that one. I hate Rachel Green Club, and that one is so funny. It's such a good episode. If nobody's watched it, you should. If you don't even like Friends, watch that one freaking episode. You'll love it. It's it makes you laugh. It's a good episode.
It's called the one with the secret or something, but and it's funny because in real life at the time, they're married or they're dating. I
think they were married in real life at that point, and happily married. They were, there wasn't bad stuff. They were just happily married, and he's part of the I Hate Rachel Green Club. It's so silly. It's just a good episode.
I hate Rachel Green fan club. He's like, I hate her. She's like, I can't know. He's like, he's a hater. He's just he hates her. And then that one is also they make the trifle with that tastes like feet. And it's just anyway, we could go all day on a Friends fucking rant, but I wanted to get that in because I see this guy and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm gonna make sure we bring up the Friends episode. But check out the Friends episode also if you get a moment. And all right, back to that Fruit Loop.
But in the movie itself, though, you know the part where they're checking in to the last motel they stay in, and he's like, "Oh, I got so much money and a watch or whatever." The guy that's checking them in, I'm not sure because I didn't look it up, but he looks like the guy that was in the other John Candy movie there. He gets struck by lightning a bunch of times, 66 times.
Oh yeah.
The one where they go camping, but I don't know if it's the same guy. So if it's the same guy, that's cool. But if it's not, I'm sorry. He just looked like him to me. I was like, oh, I think that might be the same guy. And I don't know if it is.
I think it looks like Hughes kind of reuses. So I think I'll look at look into it. Let us know. And that's right. You're out the lunch bench. And
I didn't even realize this was a John Hughes film until a couple of years ago because you guys hadn't I watched this film a bunch of times through my life, but I didn't realize it was John Hughes. But it makes sense. It just feels like a John Hughes film.
Yeah,
it does.
All in all, is a good movie. I think it's good to watch around the holidays. It's good to put on. If you can put it on once a year, it's a good watch. It's a good feeling. Or skip a year and go to it, but. I thought it was a really good one. I liked it a lot. And I liked it more than I thought I would originally like it. When I first watched it. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know. It holds up, I guess, from when I seen it originally. I'd say I would personally give it, I'll give it 4 dog dicks. Both?
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this film a bunch of times. I enjoy it. It's not my favorite John Hughes film. It's not my favorite comedy from the 80s, but John Candy and Steve Martin are hilarious. They improvised a lot of their dialogue together, which is cool because it makes it seem much more organic. They were very funny together. Even though I kind of disliked both the characters, they still liked their dialogue. I still liked them. I still liked the story. But as people, I wasn't a big fan of them. It's not that they were bad characters or anything. It just... one was a dick, and I felt like one was kind of a manipulative grifter.
In the first, in the first hotel room, do you feel like he was kind of like, I'll get you a room. There's like only one room around one bed. If I was
Yep.
Steve Martin, I'd be like, I think this guy's trying to fuck me. Like, I don't know.
And then when they woke up together, hugging,
Yeah.
Del's
He's like,
kissing
"Ah."
his ear, and he's just like, "Why are you kissing me here? Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand between two pillows? Those aren't pillows." And they sit up and like, "Oh, manly things. Oh, how'd you like that Bears game? Oh yeah, they're gonna go all the way."
Yeah.
Just made me laugh. But overall, I did like this movie a lot. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. 4
Four
dog
dog
dicks.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like I don't know if this was quick or not, but I just I remember I was telling Slopdog what you said, Bone. I'm hungry, and I kind of just don't want food. I'm looking for fruit just to eat because I'm hungry. And Bo goes, "Did you look in the mirror?" That's my
so
brother. He's like, "Are you sick? Let me help you out." And what say you about this holiday class?
So I hadn't watched this before. I don't know what's wrong with me. I thought it was a completely different movie. My husband made fun of me, but anyway, I thought it was like trading places, the movie where they trade places, and my
I
husband
love
said to
that
me,
movie.
that has completely different people in it. I'm like, I don't know what I thought. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So this is the first time I watched it. I didn't love it overall. I feel bad that I didn't like it as much as you guys did. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I don't picture myself like wanting to rewatch this. This wasn't like a favorite. And I like Steve Martin and I like John Candy, but I didn't particularly like this movie. Like how you say you don't really like the characters. I didn't really
Yeah.
like the characters. I think maybe if I really liked one of them, maybe that would make me be like, oh yeah, I love Steve Martin in this, or I love John Candy in this. Instead, I'm like, I think they're both kind of assholes, and I'm not a big fan. So anyway, I'm sorry. So I'm only gonna give it like 2 dog dicks.
2 dog dicks from the Slop Dog.
I'm sorry, guys.
You don't understand. Hey man, that's how you feel. That's what we do. That's what I love about this. Like, there's no like pulling punches. I think we're gonna have anybody on here. I think we're gonna have the person who's in the movie on here, and you'd be like, "Listen, I'm sorry, but it's stuck." And you're like, "Listen."
1 tip. I give it a tip. No, I'd be like, what?
What's that give that? Is this like a
Yes,
new
this is a 3 dog dicker.
three?
It's 3.33. It's not even a tip, so
Wow.
it's almost a
It's
tip.
3.
So it's almost 3 and a tip, but just 3 and just a nudge, just a little poke.
3 to poke.
That's what I tell everyone I'm dating them. You want 3 inches and a poke? Come on, baby. And here, I'm down. And
3 inches? Are you using your finger?
that's correct. I'm handsome. And and pull the fatty rolls back. And oh boy. And anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I had a
Almost just
talk with
fell
my
out of my
kid
chair.
there about circumcised penises, and I was like, if we were, because we're traveling, that'd be really hard, hard cleanup, because you got to do extra cleanup with that, because you got to get around the collar and stuff. And anyway, yeah, they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, but you're good. And
Yeah,
he goes,
cheese
how
in
do I know
there.
if I'm circumcised or not? I'm like, you don't got a hood on your dick. You're good. You're circumcised. And anyway, I don't know why. What were we talking about?
We're talking about your kids' dicks.
No, we were
Where are
talking
we?
about circumcisions and cleaning up and getting. I don't know.
All right, let me
I
drop
was
some. Let me,
gonna say, so on the road, you get a wash, and I smell bad now. I'm shitting myself because I'm coughing. I don't know, whatever. And
all right, let me drop some facts. This movie had a release date on November 25th, 1987. The budget was $15 million. It made $49.5 million, which is pretty good for the 80s. The critics gave it 72% out of 72 out of 100. Audience gave it 2.7. I can't read my writing. 7.7 out of 10. IMDb audiences gave it 7.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it 92%. Audiences gave it 87%. Letterboxd is 3.8 out of 5. Google users gave it 4.7 out of 5. Common Sense gave it 3 out of 5. And Tasteless Jason gave it 3 dog dicks.
and a tip.
And a tip, almost a tip.
Well, and a,
Just a little
and a
nudge.
poke.
Just a little poke. The director was John Hughes. I'm sure you're all familiar with John Hughes. If not, like 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in Pink, Weird Science, Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, Home Alones. Just like up to I could just keep going. Like he has so many amazing films. John Hughes was the director of the 80s, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For like romantic comedies and stuff mostly, but awesome stuff. But yeah, this film was I don't know, I enjoyed it. I think it was a good time. We still gave it only 3, but we still overall I think that's still a positive review, and I think we still suggest you watch it because it is a fun time. It's not John Candy or Steve Martin's best. It's not John Hughes's best, but it's fun. It's endearing especially by the end. You get to like the characters. You don't really love them, but you kind of like them. You understand them a little more. They understand each other. And
Punch around the hall.
Yeah, and you get that romantic John Hughes ending, but with a lot of the funny jokes and stuff through it. So highly recommend it.
I want to know what love
Recommend,
is.
not really highly.
Give it a watch. We've never seen it. It's a good Thanksgiving movie. There aren't many. Give it a watch, and watch some Friends episodes. There's a good, if you go to a Hulu or something, there's probably a.
Oh, you know what else we could have watched? Maybe next year? Dutch. Isn't Dutch when they're going home for Thanksgiving?
Is
Thanksgiving
it?
or Christmas? I just thought of that. I don't know if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas though, so maybe not.
I think Dutch is a John Hughes film as well.
Is
I
it?
love Dutch. When the old guy's I think it is Thanksgiving because he's the old guy's washing up in the bathroom. He's like, "You ready for your turkey dinner?"
Do you think John Hughes was just trying to corner the market on Thanksgiving films?
Maybe because there's not many. Yeah, we should. Maybe I guess next year we'll have to do Dutch. But yep, I don't care if you live, die, or grow mushrooms in the crack.
And so check us out. You're gonna love it. I don't know. What are the
All right, yeah. Check us out on our Instagram at Tasteless Adjacent. Check us out on X, which we don't really post too much there anymore, but at Tasteless ADJ. We're on Pee When You Poo on YouTube. Check us out. We're on all popular podcast platforms: Apple, Audible, Spotify. Give us a follow. Give us a comment, a review, and we'll read it on air. That's our plugs.
Yeah.
Yes. Check us out. Where Bo just said, and
this will be out sometime before Thanksgiving. We're a little late recording because Chowder had AIDS, and
it's Chowder's turn.
I know. Finally, Chowder had AIDS, and it wasn't me. But I just wanted to say Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and I wanted to say that I'm very thankful for this podcast and to have Slopdog and Chowder in my life because you guys are, two of my best friends.
Aw.
me too. And I love you, brother.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
I was thinking, I was like, I remember saying it,
Give
man.
it a John Hughes ending.
I want to
that's
know what love
I
is.
don't know what love is. And I think that no matter what, I think that I remember thinking I want it. You always want everything to be successful.
Nope, we lost you.
You died to the AIDS.
I thought if I wasn't,
Also, Mia Familia, because of my family.
I thought, but even if this podcast wasn't successful, I was like, if one of us passed away, I wouldn't be. I'd be sad that person passed away, but then I'm like, I wanted the podcast to be successful, but if one of us passed away, we wouldn't do this anymore. And I was like, how sad I was that I would lose my family member, plus lose doing this every week, because it's really fun. So yeah, I agree, man. I'm thankful for this podcast. Thankful you guys are in my life too. And now we're getting mushy. People are like, all right, go fuck yourselves. So I'm shutting it off. And all right, smush, fuck yourselves. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So say it, Mr. Shepherd. So say it. Oh, somebody, you want to say it? Oh, fuck my mother. And, so say it, Mr. Shepherd. So say it, the flock. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Good night.
Good night, everybody. I want to know what love is.
What are you, some kind of dog, Dick? Dick.
I want
Is everybody
you to
excited for
show
Thanksgiving?
me
I'm excited for Thanksgiving.
Ooh, I'm
Everybody
a-
else?
Somebody fucking I saw on Instagram today. Somebody did a turkey and they filled it with Velveeta cheese and hash
Oh.
browns, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
That makes me want to throw up. No, thank you. What is wrong with people? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, stop
Exactly.
it.
Right.
Fucking A.
Isn't that the end where he kisses his wife and it's like, I want to know what love is?
I don't think that song's in there.
I want you
I
to
don't
show.
know.
What's that song where they're kissing at
I
the end?
want you to show. It's not that song.
What is it?
Well, we don't have to do a song. We could
We
just
have
go.
to do a song. It's a movie
Oh.
review.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
let's do Back in Baby's Arms. I'm going to
Yes.
kill myself. I hate life today. I hate this.
All right, let's go.
I love everybody. I feel so bad we just do it the other day, and I'm like I still now like I got to do it. Then everyone's I don't know. I'm like I got to do this, man. I got to let him down, and I'm crying now. My whole family's like, now we need food. I'm like, fuck off. I think I want to know what love is. That song.
It's not in there.
What song is that?
I don't know.
Let me
But they do play a song. Oh no.